Shalom, all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, Bashem Rakak Wadash. My name is Yakaba from Plain Tables Camp in Philly. This is on idolatry and the different symbolisms, how you know that, what you see in the different, like Catholic Church and other religious groups, you can tell whether they are idol worshippers, whether they worship the sun, Molech, phallic symbols, which is a penis, fertility gods. You can tell. You just read the scriptures. I'll give you a few. Deuteronomy 4:16, lest ye corrupt yourselves and make you a graven image, the similitude of any figure, the likeness of male or female. So that's anything erect, as in an image of a man or a woman, like Diana. That's a woman with a row of like 12, 14 breasts on her. Molech, well, that's an animal. All right, you got sun gods, the likeness of any beast that is on earth. That's be Molech. The likeness of any winged fowl that flieth in the air. All right, the likeness of anything that creepeth on the ground, the likeness of any fish that is in the waters beneath the earth. All right, because these gods have already been prevailing throughout the ancient world during Moses' time. All right, you got Dagon, I believe he's a fish god. Molech, the bull god. And you got gods like Dionysus, goddesses, and sun gods. All right. So we're not supposed to make symbolism like statues and buildings or in erections in the likeness of those things, because the ancient Israelites didn't do that. There's no laws. All the laws are against it, of building those type of structures and creating those types of images. All right. And unless thou lift up thy eyes into heaven, when thou seest the sun and the moon and the stars of the host of heaven, the sun, that's masculine. Like the earth and the moon will be more feminine. All right. Stars, I believe that would be masculine. All right. But you can look it up. Even all the hosts of heaven should be driven to worship them and serve them, with the Lord Yahweh, which is Yahweh, thy God, Elohim, hath divided into all the nations under the whole heaven. Right, so they are given those things to worship, like the Edomites, Moab, Ishmael, Yawan. They were given the different, say left hand spirits to worship, not us, not the Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the sons of Israel. All right, the sons of Esau, they've been given those different bull, fish, and sun gods to worship. All right, but if you are a believer in the Yahweh Shai, the God of the Bible, the Father and the Son. All right. If you believe in them, then you would flee away from the worshipers of these things. Don't forget the covenant. It says, take heed, Deuteronomy 4:23, take heed unto yourselves, lest ye forget the covenant of Yahweh your power, which he made with you, and make you a graven image, or the likeness of anything which Yahweh thy God hath forbidden thee. All right. So we're not supposed to acquiesce when we see these symbolisms, these statues and these figures. We're not supposed to go start worshiping in that religion. Go to that church or that organization when we see these symbolisms. And you go to Deuteronomy 16, 16 and 20. That which is altogether just and just thou shalt follow, that thou mayest live and inherit the land which Yahweh thy God giveth thee. Let me look up just. Tell the doc, referring here to the law. All right. The Lord didn't make everything clean. It was a reason why Yahweh said, don't worship these things. Don't be associated with these things. It's because they represent left hand demon spirits. All right. And there's no say communion, no link where you can worship, say, the left hand side, those under the groves or those images, and still be on the good side of the Father, Yahweh, or his Son, Yahweh Shai. All right. Thou shalt not plant thee a grove or any trees near unto the altar of Yahweh thy God, which thou shalt make thee. Planting a tree wasn't necessarily against the commandments, but it was that worship was so known that Yahweh the Father said he don't even want you planting a tree near the altar because of these pagan religions. All right, these beliefs that were widely spread throughout the ancient world. All right, so he said don't even plant a tree near the altar or the house of the Lord. It says, thou shalt not plant thee a grove of any trees near unto the altar of the Yahweh thy God, which thou shalt make thee. You can plant trees, you can't plant them there. That's how serious this is. This worship of these gods that are not Yahweh and his Son Yahweh Shai. All right, that you couldn't even plant a tree near the altar. And a tree could have nothing to do with worshiping Molech or Ashtaroth or any of those ancient gods, but it was that's how strict the Lord is when it comes to worshiping these ancient gods. Do not worship them. Don't be associated with them. Neither shalt thou set thee up any image which Yahweh thy God hateth. So Grove 842, H842. We got Asherah, Astarte. Let me see. That's the same as Ashereth. I'm not sure. Astar. It might be. Who, along with Ashereth and Antha, one of the great gods in the Canaanite pantheon. All right, so it may be Ishtar. They're closely related to Ishtar, so it may be a different god. That's her associated with Venus. Okay, so it probably is Ishtar. All right. That's the likeness of a male or female that they set in to worship. So when you have these different statues, whether what they say, it doesn't matter what they say they're for. You're not supposed to create them because they have no use within the religion of the Israelites. All right. It's not a part of the law to make these images, these statues, and to put them up in any way. Because the first thing I say, they're used for a specific thing. within their religion. Well, that's not in the law. All right. I think the only thing that we erected was the cherubims. All right. The mercy seat. I don't believe there's any other statues and figures that we've erected. And you have the altar. All right. So all those those trinkets and dolls, images, and that's not within the religion of the Israelites. All right. And they say Christianity started from the Israelites, so they should be following the same tenets. See what the Christians did. They incorporated the different gods of Canaan, all right, into their religion, all right, and it started, with our people. They're the ones that first went off to incorporate the different Canaanite and Egyptian gods, Babylonian gods, into their worship. All right, so the law is the thing that exposes that. So when we go out and we look at these other religions, we can clearly see it. All right. So we're going to 4676, Deuteronomy 16:22. I don't think I have that up. No, I did have it up. We got Matazabah, which at the root, it just means like an image, a standing, erect, something erect. And this is an image or a statue, pillar, stump, mastaba, a monument, altar, stock, or stump. So you look up matazba, you get this, and it pretty much says it's pretty much a pyramid. All right, so when it says that the Lord thy God hateth, all right, so we can create like images, as pertaining to our religion, which was written in the law, but we can't create images that have to do with the Babylonian, Egyptian, Canaanite gods. All right, the pyramid is one of them. I go back to, I believe, Egypt, and I believe Babylon also. All right. Such an image that the Lord hateth. Then you got the modern day image. You got Cheddar de Borgia. All right. So, and these things are associated with the religion. All right. So when they erect these different monuments, they have to do with their religion. They're going off. All right, this is how you know that they're Satan worshippers. They worship Satan, because Molech is just a representation of Satan. All right, they manifest Satan. The other nations manifest Satan in different ways. All right. Tazba right there. All right. Or you type it in. It's pretty much the foundation of a pyramid. All right. And the scripture says that shall not go up in the steps into the Lord's house. All right. So we know that these are structures that we're not supposed to be building. Mainly, it's talking about the pyramid. And what we call the pyramids today. I'm sure they didn't call them that back then. It's pretty much a tomb for royalty, for royal Egyptians. All right. Ancient Egyptian tomb, rectangular in shape with sloping sides on a flat roof. consisting of underground burial chamber with rooms above it. All right. And that's definitely one of the images that the Lord hates. All right. I put in sun and phallic worship. All right. These are structures that the ancient Israelites, our ancestors, they never built structures like this. All right. The obelisks, you got these churches and certain houses with this big point on it. All right. Then you got the Catholics. They're all about sun worship. We look up IHS. That's a Greek way of saying Jesus. Well, Jesus is just like a pseudo-Greek word. But it is a Greek word just stylized in English. The I would be iota. The H would be eta. And S would be stigma. That's the first, they say that's the first three letters of Jesus, which would be E-S. E-S. You pronounce it Jesus. Jesus. So we can see that. I have, that's a little bigger. All right, there. So that would be like a E, S, Jesus. That's how you pronounce it. Jesus. And the I, we pronounce it as an E. So you gotta kind of know Greek to kind of follow along. But the I you pronounce as an E, and the eta, gotta know Greek. You pronounce it as an and the S you pronounce as a stigma. They say sigma modernly, but so it'll be Jesus. You had to let the last two or three characters. So in short, it's the first three letters of Jesus. All right, and you can see this is the sun, and these are the rays of light. All right, I mean, I don't know how you can deny that. All right, but they apparently do. All right, Google search. All right, pagan symbols in the Catholic Church. As you can see, that's the sun on his hand. See the ring. Right there. It's worshiping the sun. This ancient, I believe, Egyptian. No, it's Babylonian. Or yeah, it's cuneiform. I believe the Babylonians and the Assyrians. They have a similar culture, so they kind of merge together, Babylonians and Assyrians. As you can see, that symbol, like the sun. Right there. So you got the Vatican, same symbolism from an aerial shot. Rays of the sun, got the sun in the middle, and they got the rays of the sun, which that gives life to the earth, makes plants grow. All right, that's the symbolism. That's the power that they're invoking. All right. Ancient Babylonian art. Okay. Sun god symbol also found in the Roman Catholic monstrance. Open, transparent receptacle in which the consecrated host is exposed for veneration. Also, when the people are looking up at the Pope, I believe that's showing this image here. John Pope II. All right, so you got this. So when you see these symbols, they go back to ancient Babylon, ancient Egypt. All right, you got a quick search online, and it's popped up on the website, and I clicked on it, and it took me to the YouTube page.
Your Putin's eyes, you saw his soul.
Yeah.
When you look into Benedict the
Able to kind of stand and defend our positions that are, I think, very important positions to take.
Mr. President, final question.
Yes, sir.
You said famously, when you looked into Vladimir Putin's eyes, you saw his soul.
Yeah.
When you look into Benedict XVI's eyes, what do you see?
God.
Good way to end the interview.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So you saw God. All right. You saw God.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right. Pope's given a crown. Now it says, Jesus Christe, Vicario Infallibili. If I'm saying that right, which means the Jesus, the Christ, is a substitute or representative, infallible, and that's incorruptible. You can't make errors. No errors. Infallibili. All right. So when you put that crown on, he represents Christ. All right, or he replaces Christ. All right. Now again, that's not actually possible to replace Yahushua. All right. Remember, they worship these different spirit demons. All right. Yeah, give them this power and this way of thinking. But you can't actually replace the Lord, the Son, the Creator, the Son, S-O-N. He's also described as S-U-N also. And they'll try to mix that pagan idolatry into Yahushua, because Yahushua is really the life giver. All right. But they represent him as, as on the left-hand side, as a different person. All right. He looks like a so-called white man. All right. He doesn't follow the law. That's how they represent their Christ. That's a different Christ. That's a different Jesus. All right. Let's move on. To the infallible victor of Jesus Christ, or replacement or representative. So he puts that crown on it, and that's what the person becomes. All right. The substitute, replacement, representative of Christ. All right. Which they can't replace Yahushua. That's just within their twisted way of thinking that they can be God on earth, Emmanuel. It's not possible for a man to take that place. All right. And it's nowhere in the scriptures where you're supposed to set up a man on earth to replace or to represent the Lord in this fashion. You have disciples, you have apostles that preach his word. All right. We preach the gospel, but we don't stand in place of the Lord. All right. Yeah. It says Orbis Supremo in Terra Rectori, to the supreme governor of the world on earth. So he puts that crown on. So what my point is, they're not just representing the gospel. They're actually when they put that crown on, they pretty much they rule the earth through the supreme governor of the world on earth. So the Pope is the supreme governor of the world on earth. He's not just representing, all right, the Lord. Which they remember they worship a Caucasian god. All right, so that's idolatry in itself. All right. When he puts that crown on, he's the governor on earth, to the supreme governor of the world on earth. To the Father of nations and kings. You can see the symbolism of the cross. This goes into the Inquisition. All right. Just the torture to convert to Christianity. This is how you know that Christianity, I believe, started in France, is a wicked religion. Because under the guise of converting, it doesn't matter if Edomites were doing it or our people were in power doing it in Europe. All right, I'm sure it was both. I'm sure our people were sitting there ruling as kings, and they were worshiping the damn Christianity shit, and they had people tortured that were within other religions. So that's their religion, to torture you, to convert you. That's nowhere in the scriptures where it says it's lawful to torture you, to convert you to another religion. That's not in the laws. All right, that's not in any of the commandments. And the order of the prophets say, well, to convert to be Israelite, you're going to torture you until you convert. No, you would just get put to death and put in slavery. All right, and when it comes to converting to be a Israelite, that's not a righteous thing, to convert someone that's not an Israelite to be an Israelite. All right. Now, when you're within our borders, yeah, you got to follow the laws. But when you leave our borders, you can worship whatever freaking God you want. All right. Now, in the kingdom, all of those gods are going to be just completely destroyed. All right. But right now, these other nations have liberty to worship whatever God they want to worship. Or it's not an Israelite's job to make other people follow our religion. All right. It's not in the law. I think that's all I have right here. Well, Hitler. Yeah, Hitler was a Christian. All right. That's a good point. So when he puts that crown on, when you look at this dude, pretty much whatever he says, he's the direct representative of Jesus. All right, a direct representative. Let's say representative. All right, it can be replacement, substitute, but those kind of names are similar. All right, so he's a direct representative of Jesus Christ, and he's infallible. All right. Now we're representatives of Yahweh and Yahweh, but we are definitely fallible. All right. And they don't have sex either. Which Scripture says in the latter days there should be some forbidden to marry. All that's how you know. This is easy to figure out that this is a pagan religion, pagan worship, right? Non-biblical, non-law worship. All right, we'll leave that there. It's a lot. I'll put the link in the description box. All right, I didn't watch the whole thing. It's pretty much as far as I got. The link will be in the description box. You look at 1 Timothy 4, apostasy. So this is how you know when people, groups, organizations are practicing non-biblical ways of life, rituals. All right. So it could be individually as a person or within organizations. All right. Not one or the other. It's either one or both. All right. It's not just talking about religious organizations. It's talking about people also. 1 Timothy 4:1. Now, Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter time some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. And that Roman Catholicism, Islam, which is a child of Roman Catholicism. All right, speaking lies and hypocrisy. having their conscience seared with a hot iron. Hypocrisy is a major one. Hypocrites. And it says to act as a stage player. You're just playing a part. You don't really believe what you're preaching. Right? You're using, you have a front for what you believe, but behind the scenes, it's another thing. So you're acting a part. Dissimulation. Concealment of one's thoughts, feelings, or character. Pretense. To make an attempt to make something that is not the case appear true. All right, so got the full understanding on that. Hypocrisy. We're going to get into the hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron. Seared with a hot iron. Says, who carry about themselves the perpetual conscience of sin. All right, so that means people who transgress the Lord's law make it evident. All right, these cross-reference the scriptures with their actions. Seared with iron, forbidding to marry and commanding to abstain from meats. Forbidding to marry, to abstain from meats, which the power hath created to be received with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth. All right, as the Pope, so hypocrisy. You got this Molech. I did a video on this a while ago. Molech statue of child sacrifice on display on Colosseum, holy site for Christian martyrs. All right. Did I highlight anything under here? So the Vatican Synod officials asserted that the images were representative symbols from the region, not pagan idols. That's hypocrisy. We just went to that word, hypocrite, hypocrisy. All right. And he said image. That's how we know a statue is an image. All right. So you can't say it's like a drawn picture. Yeah, that can be an image. But the first images and how it's being used in the scriptures and how it was just used here by the Catholic Church, images are referring to statues. All right. So it's referring to both. All right. Not necessarily one or the other. All right. But the ancient world was more prevalent to be like in this figure. And then when you look it up, they say the Israelites that were in Carthage, North Africa, those are Israelites. Hannibal and his people. All right, those are Israelites. Those are our ancestors. They worship Molech. All right, according to what I read. All right, statue of Molech, pagan deity of child sacrifice, and the scripture say should not to give our children to Molech. All right, it stands outside the Roman Colosseum, and I believe the Catholic Church had it erected. Previously, the Catholic Church had made the Colosseum a sacred site. Let's go there. Now it's guarded by the pagan god Molech, whose demand for child sacrifice has been compared to the modern epidemic of abortion, and the faithful are agreed with a statue honoring a pagan deity whose murderous spirit still seeks to kill children. All right, so you have some Christians that still believe that this is a bad thing. That's what it sounds like they're trying to say. All right. Ancient Greek historians record that burning children alive as an offering was a common practice in Carthage. All right, displaying about the Carthaginians. All right, called the deity Baal, which is Satan, or Kronos, or Saturn, the Roman god who, according to myth, ate his own children lest they supplant him. All right, so Molech is a representation of Satan. All right, Megan Fox had a thing to say. That's about this. There's another. So it's pagan idols all throughout the Roman Catholicism. They're in their temples. Do you have our people still worshiping the different idols? All right. Point is, they're not. We were commanded not to worship them. All right. And if I'm not mistaken, the Vatican had this erected in honor of Christians that were martyred during the Roman games in the Colosseum. All right. Spartacus and and which I don't believe. Spartacus wasn't a Christian, I don't believe. But you had actual real Israelites that believed in the Lord. They were forced to fight in those games against them other opponents and animals. There's another one, the pulpit and the pen. Pastor Benny Tail. Pulpit, David Frank. Oh, so this is a Christian website. Yeah. All right, Freemasonry, pulpit and the pen undoubtedly believes that right of Freemasonry is occultic, and therefore people who claim to be Christians should under no circumstances be associated with this group or false gospel. Same thing with the Catholic Church. So this is a religious, a Christian website. That's why I clicked on that. How they had some damn nerve to say that. So are they against this? The Catholic Church erecting this? This is a Christian online news letter. And they're promoting these pastors over here, as you can see. So the Vatican places giant statue of Molech at Colosseum entrance. Now, I did a video on this a couple years ago, or this year or last year. All right, I think I highlighted something. The reconstruction of the terrible deity Molech, linked to Canaanite, Phoenicians, Greek way of saying for Canaan, and Carthaginian religions, will be stationed at the entrance of the Colosseum to welcome visitors to the exhibition. Again, this is against the law. This is why we know that they don't follow the scriptures. They don't worship the God, the Father, and the Son, Yahweh Shai. The Vatican has owned and operated the Colosseum since the Middle Ages, when it took control of the facility from the Frangipani family. So there we go. So that's it. The Vatican owns the I didn't know that. I didn't know the Vatican actually owned it. I thought the state owned that, but the Vatican owns it. There we go. Learn more every day. All right. There is no way that such a thing could be done without direct permission from the highest levels of the Vatican. The Colosseum of Rome is owned by the Vatican, and specifically the Diocese of Rome, and called the Holy See. If anyone wants to do anything there, they must get permissions from the office of the Diocese of Rome. This exhibition, called Carthago, the immortal myth, could not be held there at all unless permissions were granted at the highest levels. Okay. The Vatican ownership and authority over the Colosseum and all of its displays, exhibits, and functions as breaking Israel News rights. All right, so Israel News wrote this. Yeah. So, yeah, they own the Colosseum, and Israel News has something to say about it. And I guess they don't like it. The Israelis, Khazar Jews, they don't like it, apparently. And, yeah, so I don't know what the take is for this newspaper, because they're Christians also, and they may revere the Catholics, or they may not. I'm not sure. But the point is, it exists, and they claim to be Christians. All right. So I think that's all I had. Well, no, one more. Rim fan. Now, this is why we stopped wearing the two sided, or the two triangles to make the rim fan. Nothing. It says, because we did the research and we found out, that's not a symbol that we should be wearing, and we stopped wearing it. That's Acts 7:43. Yeah, ye took up the tabernacle of Molech, and the star of your god Remphan, figures which ye made to worship them, and I will carry you away unto Babylon. Yeah, so the reason why we went into slavery in the ancient world was because of giving our children to Molech and wearing that star, or having that as an idol, star Remphan, figures which ye made to worship them. So we got the star Remphan, star Remphan. Verse. So Remphan may have been a bull. No, because every time I see the star Remphan, I just see the star, and I do see the bull here. So I don't know if our ancient ancestors had this two-sided there's two triangles, or they actually had like a bull, or both. All right, but I know Molech is a bull. So these are all modern renditions. I want to see an ancient idol, so we can actually get the. But they keep recopying it as these two triangles. So star Remphan. Let's look up Remphan. Hyphen. Kayawan. Image of pillar. Probably a statue of the Syrian Babylonian god of the planet Saturn, and used to symbolize Israelites' apostasy. Well, Saturn is Satan. That goes back to Molech. So Baal is Molech. So it could be talking about the same God. It could be talking about Molech. It says, but Amos 5:26, but ye have borne the tabernacle of your Molech and Cuin, your images, the star of your God, which ye made to yourselves. Molech and Cuin. See, Malacham, Wa'ath Kayawan. And okay, again, they could be talking about the same exact God, just to describe it in a different way. But yeah, born, because if you pay attention to "and," you'll say, well, additional, but it could be talking about the same God. But yeah, born the tabernacle of your God Moloch and Cuin, your images, the star of your God, which ye made to yourselves. Therefore will I cause you to go into captivity beyond Damascus, saith Yahweh, whose name is the God of hosts. All right, Alahayim Tazabah. Let's look that up. Tazabawath. It's plural. Host. Tazabawa. Tazabawath. Well, host is plural. Alright. Host is plural. Alright. Host is an army. Alright. Here we got more. It says, Ezekiel 8:15. Then said he unto me, hast thou seen this, O son of man? Turn ye yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations than these. And he brought me into the inner court, Ezekiel 8:16, of the Lord's house, the inner court, not the outer, inner. And behold, at the door of the temple of Yahweh, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men, with their backs toward the temple of Yahweh, and their faces toward the east, and they worshiped the sun toward the east. All right. Then he said unto me, hast thou seen this, O son of man, as it is a light thing of the house of Judah, that they commit these abominations? All right. So that's why we went into captivity, because we were worshiping the sun. Yet the heads worshiping the sun in the Lord's house. All right. So why erect another house to worship in when you got as grandiose as the Lord's house to worship these gods in? All right. So that's why we went into slavery. So, take heed to the images in your religion. You can clearly see it. That's why we don't wear that star rim fan no more, which we didn't know. So we did that in ignorance. But we corrected it, and we don't wear it. We don't and we don't display it in any of our like on a 12 tribe sign. That was printed with the star rim fan on there. So we took that off. IHBK, from my knowledge, I believe they still carry that image. All right. So IHBK, for IHBK logo, they still use a star rim fan. All right. So again, if you say this is the original name that they were under, you're supposed to, do the research and correct mistakes. At one time this was okay. But now we understand that this is not a symbol that we should be carrying. All right. You can buy a hoodie if you want. $60. Or you can make it go on a payment plan. All right. Got different colors. All right. This is a star of rim fan. All right. And you even had, before, we stopped carrying this symbol, the star rim fan, you had people would come up to us and say, you say something about they had a problem with us wearing that. We would tell them what we thought about it, and we justified it. But then after, we looked into it, our elders and apostles agreed that that's not a symbol that we should be carrying. All right, that's a star rim fan. Rim fan. The shrunken as lifeless. The name of an idol. Still going right. Of an idol worshipped secretly by the Israelites in the wilderness. All right. Well, we read Amos already. All right. So he's supposed to do the research and figure out, okay, what is this? What is Acts 7:43 saying, and what is Amos 5:26 saying about this images, this image of Molech and the image of Cuin. Probably destroying the pronunciation. All right, but yeah, it's the two triangles. This is the star of Rimfang. So recognize the idolatry. All right. Remember, it's the same group that said John the Baptist fell out the truth. That the Philly has purer cocaine than New York. All right. And they take the drug from the government. All right. The same group. So this is an idolatrous group. All right. And the heads put those orders out. All right. The famous men among them say those things and put that order out about the taking the drugs and all that. The from the government. All right. We don't do drugs over here in Great Millstone. All right. We don't take them in the lungs or through the veins. We don't do that. All right. Especially under threat. or losing your job or livelihood. We're not doing that. That's against the law, biblical law. All right, because when we submit to Esau's drugs and we wear their symbols and practice their customs, we're submitting. You would submit to that God, and this would be Esau. Exodus 20, and the power spake all these words, saying, I am Yahweh thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me, including representing Remphan, star Remphan. All right. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images, so referring to statues or pictures, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water beneath the earth. Thou shalt in no wise, thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, Yahweh thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generations of them that hate me. All right. Remphan, Kuyawan. Probably a statue of a Syrian Babylonian god of the planet Saturn, and used to symbolize Israelites' apostasy. Yeah, because Syrian Babylonians had a very close culture. Practically worship the same gods. It says idol, heathen deity, meaning not Israelite in this respect, corresponding to Priapus or Baal, Peor, Chayun, Khum. Amos 5 and 6, name of an idol worshipped by the Israelites in the wilderness. For example, the planet Saturn, regarded by Phoenicio-Shemitic peoples as an evil demon. Phoenicio, it means Canaanite. Shemitic people as an evil demon to be appeased by expiatory sacrifices. To be appeased by expiatory sacrifices. All right, so expiatory means to make atonement. So you would have to kill a child or a person to get atonement. That's what they believed in. All right, that's what they believed. My ancestors that went off from following the Lord believe they can get, blessings and be in the good graces of Remphan dude and Molech. I believe we pronounce that Rifun. This is same thing. It's associated with Saturn, which is Satan. Okay, so they're just different manifestations of the same God, which is Satan, or one of his demons. All right, the evil spirit is manifested in different ways. Got Rifun, Remphan, Rifun. You got Molech. Molech means king. So different, cultures can call them different things, but it's the same idol. All right, they're worshiping Satan. All right. He's an evil demon. All right, appeased by expiatory sacrifices. Expiatory sacrifices. Rifin, Greek. rife in here. All right. All right, so that's the symbolism the ISUPK continues to carry. Wickery. Elite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. I was trying to find that website, but let's see. Here we go. Got the Star Rim fan. It's kind of late in the day. I mean, they should have already done the research. We did the research years ago, and you got to just donate. So the full website will be available shortly. Still didn't update it, so 2021. So, and they got Yahweh Shai. Got Yahweh Shai in the Paleo Hebrew. The home of the truth. If they the home of the truth, they wouldn't have the swords up because we don't carry the weapons anymore. All right, because in the ancient world we carried weapons. We don't carry weapons today. And they had the Star Rim fan. All right, and this is pagan. This is a pagan symbol. This is not biblical. All right. And they're not breaking any laws like if you carry a weapon, but that's not within our traditions to carry weapons. You remember what the Lord said when Peter cut off that'd be the high priest's servant's ear. He said that wasn't the way. Pretty much that's what Yahweh said. That wasn't the way. Because when the Lord delivers us, He's going to deliver us by supernatural means, not by the power of a sword, a physical sword made of metal. Right? Yahweh Shai, He's going to deliver us with spiritual power, with His presence, with chariots. All right. So they still carry this Star Rim fan, and they're not intelligent enough to know to, like, it's in the scriptures that is a Star Rim fan. All right. And we're not supposed to be worshipers or carry out those symbols. Just in case I didn't explain 1 Timothy 4 all the way. Forbidding to marry, 4 and 3, and commanding to abstain from meats. All right. You got what the Catholic priests, they forbid to marry. All right. And they end up, having practicing pederasty with little boys. All right. Trafficking thing. I'm sure that's going all over the Catholics, the higher ups of the Catholics, because the priests keep getting caught with boys, and it's always boys. It's never girls. All right. Forbidden to marry. So they abstain from sex, which is a lie. They abstain from sex with women. And commanding to abstain from meats. And they don't eat meat from terrestrial animals. I believe they call it Lent. The Catholics, they only eat fish, which is still meat, just meat of the sea. All right. Which the power created to be received with thanksgiving. So I believe Paul wrote this to Timothy. All right. And so Paul knew about all the different religions out there. All right. He was giving them advice to how of what to look for when the Israelites that are converted from the pagan religions come to be into the faith. All right. Come to back to their original nationality. Paul knew about all those different religions. All right. Knew about the fronts people were putting up and disguise of their true intentions, their true religion. He knew about the mystery religions. All right. He knew about the customs of these other religions, and he was giving Timothy warning. All right. So I think that's the end of the lesson. I'll leave that there. All right, and it's all centered around recognizing idolatry, recognizing the different customs of non-biblical religions, all right, and they're prevalent within the Catholic Church, Islam, or every other religion. If you worship the ancient Egyptian, Babylonian religions, it's the same thing. They're under different names, all right, with different customs depending on the culture of the people. All right, so hope you're edified. Shalom.